Hey everybody, LAFN here, and we are talking more fantasy football today and more talk about waiver wire pickups. And what I'm going to touch on now is the running back situation at the Rams, which is a bit it's a little bit run by commission, but we had a bit of a crazy one this week where Zach Stacy was on the field for 1 snap and 0 carries. Crazy, and they basically are saying that that's not things to come. They're not wiping off Stacy as the running back option 1, but they're playing it week by week. So that makes for me Stacy almost a drop or a bench. I wouldn't start him. He just you just don't know what you're going to get now. I mean, in the previous games here, he didn't obviously play at Seattle. Week 6, they're at San Fran, and he got 8 carries for 17 yards, 2 fantasy points. Week before that, they're at the Eagles. Actually, no, San Francisco, they're at home as well. Yeah, sorry, the week before that, they're at the Eagles, where he had 11 attempts for 42 yards, 5 fantasy points. He caught a couple of passes as well. But so it's been very limited, which leads me to my next thing of Trey Mason, who had a breakout game for him anyway for this season against the Seahawks, who are relatively good against the run anyway. They restrict it, unless you're DeMarco Murray. But yeah, so they generally restrict the run quite well. But he had 18 carries for 85 yards and a touchdown. So he was averaging 4.7, which is not relatively high, but it's a decent, it's a handle margin. Which gave him a fantasy score of 14 points for the weekend. So that means basically he is going to be a waiver wire monster pickup. At the moment, he's currently owned in 18% of leagues, started 1%. So whoever those few hundred people, or 1,000 people that started him, they got a decent 14 points, running back 2 flex option for him on the week. But is it a little bit of hype? I mean, he did play against San Francisco the week before. He had 5 carries for 40 yards, so he's averaging 8 yards, and he had 1 pass for 12. So he can catch the ball as well. He's not just a one option run back, but he got 5 points, I think, fantasy wise. So he didn't obviously play a great deal of the snaps. But then you've also got Benny Cunningham there as well, who's a kind of burst player. You know, he's a bit of a pace changer as well, and got the lovely special teams play against Seattle to seal the win effectively, although he did fumble and it kind of got a little bit crazy. But yeah, so I mean, it's difficult to start any of them really. I know Trey Mason's going to be trending up, and he's probably going to get picked up, but whether I would start him, I mean, even that, their matchups now, they're tough. They've got to go to Kansas City next week, who are pretty relatively good against the run. They're ranked 6th. They only concede 13 fantasy points to the run. Week after that, they're at Kansas City, then they're at San Francisco, then they're at Arizona. So, I mean, that's a tough run. That is a tough run. So I would be a bit precarious about starting any Rams running back. One, because there's 3 of them, and the other one because of their matchups for the next 3 weeks. They're on the road, and they've got 3 kind of difficult matchups for the run anyway. So I would be a little bit precarious on who I would pick if I would. Trey Mason for a waiver wire pickup this week. He's going to get picked up by people, but I'm almost going to steer clear of the whole Rams thing personally. Anyway, this has been LAFN talking running back situation at the Rams. Catch you all soon. Peace.